What's up, my soldiers? It's Wobbly Honor. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about having a firearm in the U.S. Air Force. Now, there's a couple different reasons why you would want to have a firearm, and there's plenty of people in the Air Force, trust me, that have firearms. You know, most of the people in the Air Force are Republicans, and people in the military are mostly Republicans, and they're like crazy about their guns. So, lots of people have them, and it's totally cool to have them. There's a couple things that you have to do. Whether you want them for protection, to protect you and your family, whether you want them for recreational purposes, just to shoot at random stuff, you know, at the gun range, or if you wanted to hunt, you can have weapons in the Air Force and you can have them in your home. So let's break it down. If you're a single airman in the Air Force and you're living in the dorms like I am, you're not allowed to have firearms in your dorm. The only thing that you can have is like a 3-inch blade. You can't have any machetes, you can't have any like nunchucks, you can't have anything like that. Like you can only have like a 3-inch blade. However, obviously you still have your Second Amendment right. You can still own a firearm. So what you have to do is, if you want to go out and buy a pistol or a shotgun, you're gonna have to buy it, get it registered, and then you have to take it on base, and you're gonna have to register it at the Security Forces Armory. Every base has the Security Forces Armory. It's open 24/7, 365 days a year. If you ever want your gun, you just go to the armory, and you'll have to say, hey, I want my pistol or my shotgun, and you sign it out, you take it, you do whatever you want with it, you bring it back, you sign it back in. Me personally, I don't have weapons, not yet. I think it's too much of a hassle to have to go to Security Forces first, so the second option, say you don't trust the armory with your weapon, or you just don't want to have it there and you want to have more access to it, you can have it off base at somebody else's house. If you have a buddy or someone who owns a house off base, you can just have it there and, you know, just keep it there. That's also totally fine. Now let's say you live on base and you live in a house, and then you can have your weapon in your house. It's almost the same process. You buy your weapon, you get it registered, you bring it on base. Now you have to fill out what's called a 1314, a 2760, and a 0160. It's like a bunch of different forms, like 3 or 4 different forms that you have to fill out, just to basically let the base know that you have weapons, that you agree to the kind of like the terms of having a weapon on base. The terms are, you have to keep your weapon very secure, very safe. You know, most gun owners are pretty safe about their weapons. In our regulation for our base, it says that the trigger well has to be saved, it has to be locked up in a case, and then it has to be put behind some type of like barrier or like a closet or something. It's kind of stupid. Like, I don't know why they put so much safety around weapons. I guess they really just are trying to avoid, you know, children getting to weapons. But if you're responsible, your kids are not going to mess with your weapons. Like, most responsible gun owners know what to do around weapons. The weapons have to be unloaded. You cannot carry your weapon on base. You cannot open carry or conceal carry on base. The only thing that you can do is put it in a case, put it in your car, drive off base to wherever you're going, and then you can use it. Then you can drive back on base with it in its case, unloaded, and then, you know, put it back in your house. You can't walk around the BX with your pistol in your hip with, you know, your AR-15 like strapped to your chest. You can't do that. One more thing, as a precaution to, you know, sometimes things go wrong with guns, you have to fill out what's called a hazardous activity report. So you have to go to your squadron and you have to say, hey, I own weapons. Occasionally on the weekends I go hunting. Occasionally on the weekends I go to the gun range. Then your supervisor or whoever is, like, you know, in charge of safety in your squadron, they're gonna have to say, okay, cool, no problem, sign you off on it, and then you're good to go. This covers you, because if you ever get shot on accident or if something goes wrong, you know, you always are covered. That way your squadron knows, okay, this person deals with guns on a regular basis. We're not going to be caught off guard by this. It's just like a silly thing that you have to do before you start firing weapons. Now, if you live off base, whether it be in an apartment or a house or whatever, then there's really no rules at all. You pretty much just fill out the hazardous activity report, make sure your weapons are registered, and just practice safe, you know, gun safety. Hunting is allowed on some bases, like here on Elmendorf, hunting is allowed on base during some parts of the year. It's not really that exciting because it's like you can only hunt like this little area for like this amount of time during the year, so it's not really that exciting, but it can happen on most bases. Now, some of you might be curious about the gun ranges on base. Now, there are gun ranges on every base, and it's run by security forces. However, you're not allowed to just go there recreationally with whatever your personal gun is. The only time that you can actually shoot on the gun ranges on base is if you are like on duty with your M16 and you're actually going for weapons qualification. Usually those happen whenever you go overseas. So if you go overseas to like Korea or Japan or something like that, then you'll have to go and do the weapons qualification. Once you pass that, then you'll be cleared to go, and then you actually go overseas. But you can't just go there with your bazooka and your pistol and just fire off, no. Now let's say you have visitors that are going to be coming on base and they're going to be living in your house. They can also carry weapons with them. The only thing, they need to make sure that it's registered. They need to also claim it when they enter the base. When they go through the visitor center, you have to say, okay, I have this weapon with me, I'm bringing it on base. Then the security forces person behind the counter is going to say, okay, where's the license and not license registration? Where's the registration for the weapon? All right, cool, good to go. Do you have any felonies? No, okay, cool, good to go. And they're going to go through a couple different things on the checklist, and then you'll be able to bring your weapon on base. But that's pretty much it. If you have a weapon on base, then that's fine. You just have to go through the procedure. If you guys have any questions about hunting or doing anything in the Air Force regarding the guns, hit me up in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.